All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarasu and Seti Kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. We got a hot one today. The real Ethiopian Immortals from Persia. The movie 300 didn't show. And so we want to tap into that. If you peep the movie 300, you see that they show some black Persians, but that's just a little taste of the truth. So we want to tap in and get down to the get down. You feel me? Before we get started, I want you to get on over there to my Patreon, General Seti. You already know we got that work dropping it right after this. We're gonna be dropping. Let me get it in here for your family. Did the Egyptians travel to enter Earth? This is a powerful one. Make sure you get over there. Got over 500 exclusive live stream. Also, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Seti products, DVDs, T-shirts, hoodies. Got that for your family. And make sure you check out my here it is. Let me get it in there. My memberships, General Seti, Sarasu and Seti, got exclusive videos for you right here. And make sure you get this video a thumbs up, like it because you'll love it. Share it with your family and friends. Comment, comment, comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because you will get banned. Here we go, family. So let's talk about it. We talking about the Immortals of Persia, which was an elite group of soldiers, 10,000 strong. And no matter if one failed, it was always another one that would come and take his place. You see, they had them already ready. And so, that's why they call them immortals, that they would never fall below 10,000. As you can see back there, I got to get there. I'm gonna tap back in. Those are actual murals, huh? Those are actual murals from Babylon. Okay, now I believe both of them is in the museum of Susa. They in Iran. They in both. All of them are in Iran, and I believe they come from. I don't know if they from Persia. I think they from Susa, which at the ancient times that was the capital of Elam. Okay, that was the earliest nation over there was Elam. Matter of fact, I got the map right here. Let's go and tap right on in. Let's tap right on in. So let me go and move the comments out for a minute. What up, Ray? So you see over there where the blue star is, that's Persepolis. Heavy, heavy Egyptian presence there too. So when you see this now, is evidence heavy, heavy. If you go up north to Nimrud, Nimrud is in Iraq, heavy, heavy Egypt. So when people, and it's crazy when people try to tell you that the ancient Egyptian empire was right along the, Canaan and up and through there, that's a lie. That's a lie. Heavy Egyptian influence. Now, this is Persu. Now, if you look at the map, that's Persepolis. And then you got Susa. That's the yellow star up there. That was the earliest capital. That was the earliest capital. And later on, Persepolis became the capital too. You see, it became the capital much later. When you talk about Susa, you talking about that early, at the time of Babylon and Ur Chaldea up in that area. So the Susa was the capital of the Elamites. And they were right there with the Babylonians, the Sumerians, and they were African too. So there's no doubt about it. Now, when you look at this is artifacts from Persepolis. Now that's an Egyptian. Those are Egyptian doorways. No doubt about it. And what the Persians had conquered Egypt. And what they did, they carried off architects. And that's how you get that. But that right there is in Persepolis. You would think that's in Egypt, but it's actually in Persepolis. So that show you the extent of how far the presence of ancient Egypt existed in throughout those lands over there. You see, and I'm gonna keep pressing it so you get somebody got to show you this, to show you the clear presence that Egypt had throughout all them lands over there, and the artifacts is heavy. Now, if you didn't see the movie 300, and we're gonna tap in, this one brother, he was in the movie. He let Leonidas kick him down the well. You see, let him, kick him down the well. They got to make, they got to try to make the black man look bad. So, but he was a Persian. Okay, he was a Persian, and I think by that time people knew that. If you know history, Memnon. Now this is very critical. You remember that the general was telling you this. Memnon, who was the great Ethiopian warrior that went to Troy to fight Achilles, fight for the Trojans. He was said to have built Susa, okay, but he was the king of Ethiopia, so that show you how closely connected that the Ethiopians, the Egyptians, and the earlier Persian, we talking about, see, that's why, when you go into Drusilla Dungy Houston's wonderful Ethiopians of the ancient Kushite Empire, she always speaks of the old race. You see, the old race. We're talking about the old kingdom. So when you're talking about Susa, you're talking about those Africans into what they call Persia in the old time of, right around pre-dynastic Egypt and, early dynastic Egypt, the old kingdom, and even the middle kingdom. So you talking about the African stock that they still show on the walls, even at Persepolis. Now again, to the right, one of them is in Babylon. One of those is in Babylon. The other one is in Susa in the Museum of Susa. I can look it up to make sure. But you can clearly see that he's pitch black. He pitch black. You know what I'm saying? And the other one is dark brown, and they both got woolly hair, not only on their hair, but in their beards. You see, they got kinks, they got woolly hair. And so, that's not no stay fro, one of them juicy curls or nothing like that. That's not a juicy curl. That ain't where, some, how they go get them some creatine and try to put those are tight curls. You see, them not loose curls, them tight curls. You see what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get no comb through that. It just ain't gonna happen. You see, ain't no comb going through that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to make sure, you're gonna have to dive in the ocean and make sure your hair wet before you comb it to get anything. Once it dry, it's a wrap. You're gonna have to get it wet. You're gonna have to get it wet again, and you're gonna have problems then. So that's that tight curl hair. So we're looking at it right there for ourselves. And so this is where they got the black Persians, and this guy was also one of the Persians. It was about three Persians that they showed to be black. It might have been even more than that. But they also showed this guy as being one of but the Immortals was also black. You see, but you see they turned them into some type of they turned them into like some evil looking, and I didn't even put them in there because but they made them look evil and shit, and because they know that they were woolly haired blacks, and they look no different than the ones in the background. That's another picture showing you the Egyptian doorways that's right there in Persepolis, and it was said that Cambyses had carried away Egyptian architects, and that's who built those particular doorways. And so this is deep in Iran. So when we say what we say, we bring the receipts. We don't sit here and play with people. We bring the receipts. When we say, ain't a lot of people say, oh, they stretching. When we say Egypt and Kush was worldwide, that's exactly what we mean. And we can show up with the receipts. We don't, and that's necessary to bring truth. We don't do this with, other than to bring truth, because truth is the most powerful attribute. It's not about it. Ain't got an ego. Ain't got nothing. It's truth alone that brings clarity. And so this will let you know who was throughout the land. And so when you look, now this is this is one of the immortals right here. You see, that's one of the immortals right there. You see the wool in his beard and in his hair. Period. The wool in his hair, and this is not we tired of these pale faces going up there with putting some juicy curl in their hair and trying to, but that's tight right there. You could tell that's tight curl. That means them short and crisp curls. That's African. There's no getting around that. And all of them got the hair. You didn't see no other type of hair up there. You didn't see no other type of hair up there. So that just show you. A lot of them say, the Indian try to say that they started the Mesopotamia. Where you at though? This is just like the Buddha. This just like the woolly head Buddha, and you put them all in there. We see this, man. This ain't no game. We're not playing no games with y'all. Know more about the truth. We see it. With our own eyes. And it ain't one, it's all of them. You see? So you can taste, some people say, oh, well, you can find, no, this is all of them. That means this is a standard. This is a genetic standard amongst a majority. So we're not talking about no one person or no, this is a genetic standard amongst a majority, which means this is the standard of the people that's living in that land. You see, and so this is clear. This is one of the immortals. Though I got another one. Nah, but again, now when we tap back in and understand that even in the Bible it says that Nimrod who was the son of Cush, who was the son of Ethiopia, founded the nation, or the nation, which is not just a nation, it's a confederation of Mesopotamia, because you got Shinar, which is Sumeria, you got Chaldea, which is southern Babylon, you got Babylonia, you got Akkad, you got Assyria, you got all these, and so this is a confederation of states of Mesopotamians, which the root of it is Ethiopian. It's no doubt about. Now, another thing that we need to bring up, we got to bring this up now. We got to bring this up. When you talking about Andromeda, you talking about Andromeda, who was an Ethiopian princess in the story of the Clash of the Titans. If you watch the movie The Clash of the Titans, you will see that the story was built around the Ethiopian prince. You wouldn't have known they was in Ethiopia. You wouldn't have known they was in Ethiopia. And this is another thing that ties Persia to Ethiopia. That in that movie Andromeda, was an Ethiopian princess. Her mother was Cassiopeia, who was the queen of Ethiopia, and her father was Cephas, who was the king. but it looked like they was in Athens somewhere. It looked like they was in Greece. So you wouldn't have never known that this movie took place in Ethiopia. But that's how they do it. Back in the day, when they, even in the pictorial Bible, you would open the Bible up, and even in the history book for Ethiopia, they'll have white people in there. They would have white people in there because they understood how Ethiopia played a part in many of them nations in the Bible. So they couldn't accept the fact that they were black. You know, they couldn't accept the fact they were black. And they couldn't, in the true Ethiopia of the ancients is Sudan. And so, you know, they really couldn't take that. So they tried, you know, after, Ethiopia kind of got with the Arab and kind of blended, and they still got melanin, high melanin, but, you know, you can tell a lot of them is, you know, then mixed with the Arab. That's what it didn't happen. Let's be real about it. And so they used them to hijack the term Ethiopia because it's easier, because a lot of them want to be with we're Semitic, you know, they want to be with the Arab and they want to be with the biblical shit. So they'll take that and run with it and say, okay, we're Semitic, we're tied into the Bible and things of that nature. But the true Ethiopian of the ancients is Nubia. That's got to be Sudan. So that got to be made clear, you know. And later on, the modern Ethiopia adopted that name. But before they adopted Ethiopia, that they were Abyssinia. This way you get Habasha, you get that out of Abyssinia. Okay. And so they adopted Ethiopia. That's another story for another time. But Andromeda, the Ethiopian princess, and Perseus, who was the hero of that movie, Clash of the Titans, they were the mother and father. Perseus and Andromeda were the mother and father of the Persian race. A lot of people don't know that. So the matriarch of the Persian race. Now, when you tap in, a lot of the so-called heroes and gods were Ethiopian. That's right. That's right. Let's tap in. You see, Homer, when Homer opened up the Iliad, and what is it? It was the Iliad. Zeus and the gods was in Ethiopia at a banquet. They were in Ethiopia at a banquet. Zeus, the king of the gods, Jupiter. You see, they was in Ethiopia. So Ethiopia was highly revered in Greek mythology, highly revered. So, you know, we have to tap back into that. So a lot of them gods, Hercules, a lot of time they show Hercules black with woolly hair. Herodotus said it's two Hercules, one that come out of Egypt and another, the Greek one. So they say the Greeks carbon copy a lot of the Egyptian. So, you know, a lot of them, when you look at Zeus, a lot of time when he on the vases and he black. You see, I seen him, and he had that beard like the Etruscan, that pointed beard. You know what I'm saying? So we have to tap back into that. So understanding Andromeda and Perseus are the mother and father of the Persian race. Memnon, the king of Ethiopia, is said to have built Susa, the first capital. Memnon, whether it's legacy or not, it connects Ethiopia to Susa. You feel what I'm saying? It connects Ethiopia to Persia. So the early Persians are African. And so this is where you get this information from. This is actual fact. So whether people want to tap in or not, it don't make no difference. We got the records. Yeah. He said, Ray said the nomadic goat herders intermingle. Yeah, we over here, you know, we over here working out, but you know, each one of these need to be extended on, and I'm gonna tap in a little deeper tomorrow. We're gonna bring, you know, some extended information on, but most definitely tap in when you leave off of here. Tap into Andromeda and Perseus. Tap into the Clash of the Titans. Tap into the fact that that movie supposedly took place in Ethiopia. Cassiopeia, Cephas became constellations. Andromeda, not only a constellation, but also a galaxy. You see, and look up Memnon. All you had to do is tap it in Memnon and Susa, and it'll tell you about that. You can tap into canvases carrying off Egyptian architects to build Persepolis. You can you see these sculptures, wall sculptures. You can look up the Museum of Susa in Iran, and you can see these images. Look it up, family, and if you know, and Black Immortals. If you put in the Museum of Susa, put in Black Immortals, and this should come up. I appreciate y'all, family. I get black with you. I think we got one more for the road, and we're gonna go out with a bang. See you in a minute. Army, get over there to Patreon. We got this fire. We're going into the center of the earth, family. Did the ancient Egyptians travel to inner earth? Boy, they sure was digging in the Valley of the Kings and in them pyramids. They was going somewhere. And so, you know, and when they say it's something up under them pyramid, they telling the truth. Now, where it go, I don't know. But we need to find out. So tap on in, family, and I'll see y'all in a minute. Arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked beast, daily liberation through African education and confrontation. Boom, Black Power.